So I've said many times that I will not debate a troll. I've said that trolling is not debating, and I've said that I will not turn over my platform to someone who wants to bring a bunch of misinformation and a bunch of conspiracy theories on and discuss them like they're real ideas. And when I say those things, people will say to me, well, man, you're just choosing to be in an echo chamber. You just want to stay over there in your echo chamber. So let's talk about echo chambers, okay? First of all, I'm in East Tennessee. I'm right on the state line of Kentucky. I was born in Tennessee, grew up in Kentucky. I live over here now. And I am in the Bible Belt, okay? I'm in one of the notches of the Bible Belt. I am always going to be hearing the opposing viewpoint, okay? I'm about to get up out of this chair here in just a few minutes. I'm going to go get some groceries, about 10 minutes away. And on the drive, I'm going to pass by at least 5 churches. And if I turn left or right any way along the way, I will bump into more churches. There's literally hundreds of them around me. When I go in that store, I can go to the book section, and there's going to be books of Joel Osteen, Billy and Franklin Graham. There's going to be clothing with Jesus on it, with crosses on it. There's going to be Christian merchandise throughout the store. They still pray at my children's football games. Everywhere I go, election season, the majority of signs I see is right wing. Local radio and local news in this part of the world is heavily slanted toward the right and toward the church. So there's no way that I could ever escape it. I'm always going to be hearing the opposing viewpoint just based on where I'm sitting. What I'm talking about when I say that I want to be over here is I want to be over here and I want to filter out all the bullshit. I want to get rid of all the misinformation, all the lies, all the conspiracy theory, all the hatred, all the bigotry, all the homophobia, all the transphobia. I want all that shit away from me, and I do not want to entertain it. I am not going to turn over my platform and sit across the table from some dude that wants me to look up pregnancy pics of Michelle Obama because he thinks she's a man named Mike. Okay, I'm not going to give him the time of day, because if I sat down to talk with someone like that and brought them on my platform, that kind of says to people watching, hey, he respects them enough to let them talk, and I have zero respect for that. There's no way that I would ever sit and entertain those type of ideas. I wrote a song called Echo Chamber. It's on my Tennessee Brando album, Shots of Truth, Volume 1. And in that song, the first verse says, if there's no hate and no spreading lies, no just rational thoughts and compromise. If there's no vile words of anger, then I'll stay inside my echo chamber. Meaning, if I will stay here, I will stay in my lane if there's rational thought. I will stay in my lane if there's evidence. I will stay in my lane if there's truth. I'll stay right here. I can get in this echo chamber with the truth and with people that brings real ideas to the table based on data, based on research, based on evidence, and based on facts. I will hear those opinions out all day long. I will hear those thoughts out all day if that's what it's rooted in and that's what it's based in. But I will not sit and entertain people who believe that JFK Jr. is still alive and he's working in a satanic pizza parlor somewhere. I'm not going to buy in to the Jewish space laser shit that Marjorie Taylor Greene buys into. And when you throw your support behind that kind of party, I consider you a conspiracy theorist. Because if that's not a deal breaker for you, if you will hang around that kind of shit, if you will hang around those kind of conspiracy theories, you'll hang around those kind of lies, you'll hang around, that kind of hatred and bigotry, then who's really in the echo chamber? If we're talking about echo chambers, I grew up here, okay? Born and raised right here, okay? And I had to face a whole lot of uncomfortable truths as I went along. I had to realize that a lot of stuff that was handed down to me was bullshit. I had to face it head on, and I had to go, whoa, wait a minute. You mean Matthew really didn't write that book? You mean that was written hundreds of years after Jesus died? Shit, damn. Well, okay. I could have swore that was written by a white guy named Matthew in the Middle East, but I got that one wrong. I had to face up to things like, that rebel flag on that little General Lee car I got. I mean, it don't just mean Dukes of Hazzard. It means something else. I had to realize that a lot of stuff I was taught growing up was absolute bullshit. But there's people who remains over there in that echo chamber. And when we bring the truth, when we bring evidence, when we bring facts, when we bring research and data and say, hey, look, everything you're saying ain't bullshit, and you refuse to hear it, then tell me again who's really in the echo chamber. Who's really looking for their safe space? Who's really incapable of having any self-reflection and facing up to things that, I might have got that wrong, and I'm still getting things wrong. I'm still getting things wrong, and I will own it. When I do, I'll come back on here. I'll say, hey, folks, got that one wrong. Because I don't want to be in that world. I don't want to be, and I want other people to realize that it's okay to speak up and speak out. One of the biggest things, one message I get so many times, and I appreciate. I know a lot of times it's real easy to hear the loud voices of negativity, and it's really easy to dwell on that shit sometimes. But I also get a whole lot of positive messages, and a lot of times more positive than negative. And people will say to me, I really respect what you do. I respect you for standing up, for taking your stance. I really can't do it based on the situation I'm in. And listen, I get it. I understand that certain people with their jobs in certain situations, I understand that you can't always do what it is that I do. Okay? But you can share those videos with people who you feel are like-minded, or people who you feel might be sitting on the fence there with you. You can do that. And to the people who are capable of standing up and speaking out, do so. And even if you can't speak out, share other people's videos who are. Share the truth. Share reality with people. And call out this bigotry when you see it. Call out this hatred when you see it. We can't let those bastards win this one. We can't. We're going to be on the right side of history when it's all written. We're going to be on the right side of history. I'm confident in that. But, they can accuse us all day long of being in an echo chamber. But we're the ones, when faced with evidence, changes our minds, and they're the ones, when faced with evidence, sticks both fingers in their ears, la, 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 I don't want to hear that. They're the ones in the echo chamber, not us, and don't ever forget it.